and what your estimates were and what your forecasts were for 5 and 10 years out.
Okay.
From back then, what you wrote about, what you spoke about, which is all online, is beautiful stuff. How much of that stuff has actually been as you called it?
So there's a couple of areas from a technology projection perspective.
Automotive, you were spot on.
Automotive, dead on.
Dead on.
Right. But I tell you an area, probably the biggest failure we had was projecting the future of autonomous cars. We thought in 2012 that by the end of the decade, autonomous cars would be rampant. And it's barely made a dent. And it turns out that driving is an incredibly more complex, adaptive problem than a straight AI can handle. Just the idea you're driving along and one bicyclist is overtaking another bicyclist, and you have to avoid that situation, and there's a pothole that you might avoid.
Yeah.
As you operate in a way that an AI has incredible difficulty dealing with, whereas a human being barely notices they're doing it. So autonomous cars is probably the biggest projection failure we had, just because we thought it was, you don't need a human intelligence to drive a car, you need horse intelligence. And we kind of have that. So it's not that bad. It shouldn't be that hard. But it turns out the only way to do it very elegantly and quickly is putting sensors in the roadways and changing the infrastructure.
It wasn't California. Somebody was supposed to be working on that, no?
Yeah, well, actually, it's happening now.
Yeah.
But the Gartner hype cycle.
Yes.
Right? So technology takes off, crashes, because everybody goes, oh my God, I'll never work.
Freaks out, and then it's,
So we're now in the upswing for autonomous cars that nobody's noticed. For example, in Phoenix, Arizona, all the taxis are now autonomous taxis.
Oh, I didn't know
all
that.
the taxis, because it's a grid system, it's super easy to navigate.
Right.
They all have autonomous taxis, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. So it's getting there. It's just going to be a lot slower and a lot longer. So that's the biggest weakness.
All right. Now, we're both Tesla owners.
Yes.
And I remember last year you were driving from Miami, and I thought that was terrific, especially with your schedule. That freaked me out. I said, how do you have that extra time? I see your list of what you got to do, but how much do you use your either enhanced autopilot or your full self-driving?
I don't use the full self-driving. I was too cheap to get it when it came out, and now it's 3 times more expensive, so I'm really pissed about that, but that's fine. I should call Elon and try and get a favor, but that's not the phone call you want to make to Elon.
No. I want to sign in your car, by the way. I want to see that marker on your white seats. What color are your seats? I want Elon's name. That's gonna raise the resale value. By the way, just think about that for a second.
Well, I have a MacBook with that Steve Wozniak signed.
Oh, beautiful.
You know this story?
No.
So I was doing they did for the 50th anniversary for Pepperdine University's business school. They had us do a 90-minute debate with myself and Steve Wozniak on stage. So it was really amazing. And we had a great old time kind of just batting around topics. And he's got such a profound mind. He talks a lot about most great technologies come from people tinkering around and just playing around and stuff. And we don't have space in our daily lives to just play around. And I thought that was a really powerful comment. Anyway, I got him to sign my MacBook and whatever. Problem is the MacBook's now out of date, but it's like what am I going to do?
You're gonna put that in a glass case. That's gonna go to your kid when it's all said and done.
He and my kid has it right now.
That's terrific.
And he's like, what is this scratching on the front? You're like, ah,
don't clean it. All right.